Hi, we're here with Josh Karp. He is the CEO of Kumbuya, which is a social commerce platform. Josh is well known for creating the printed blog, which is the world's first printed newspaper consisting of blogs and other online content. Josh, can you please tell us about Kumbuya?
Sure. Kumbaya is a place for people and their passions. It's a place where people come together in interest-based communities and they can conduct commerce directly in those communities. So whereas Facebook and Twitter, they turn engagement into awareness, as measured by likes and clicks and comments, on Kumbaya, we turn that engagement into revenue.
Great. And now, what gave you the idea for this?
Well, the idea for Kumbaya really came from the work we were doing with the printed blog. As you mentioned, the printed blog is the world's only print magazine comprised of blogs and other online content. And we found ourselves working with bloggers and photographers from all over the world. They would create amazing content and build vibrant networks, bring them to Facebook and Twitter, and get nothing but reach in return. So we said to ourselves, as some of the biggest supporters of bloggers anywhere, what could we do that would help them make money from their content and their community in a respectful way? And that's really how Kumbaya was born. It's evolved since then. We have many kinds of communities on Kumbuya besides bloggers, but the foundation was giving people who have communities or brands or businesses with communities the ability to monetize those communities in a respectful way.
Great. And how are you different from your competitors?
Well, there are very few sites that seek to put together one's interest graph. Most of the communication on Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest and some of those kinds of sites is one directional. So you will receive a post or you will see a tweet coming from somebody else. Kumbaya, you actually engage with other people who are interested in the same things you are. So on Kumbaya, you might join a community for golfing, you might join a community for investing, you might join one for parenting or for running. And not only can you receive content from the people who run the community, but you can engage with everybody else in those communities at the same time. So it's the opportunity for you to track and stay on top of, participate in all the things that you're interested in. And that's really different than what you find on Facebook and on Twitter, where you're either following your friends and family or you're following personalities that you find compelling. On Kumbaya, it really is a place for people and the things that they're passionate about.
And let's talk about metrics a little bit. So how many users do you have? How many communities have they created? How many items have been sold?
So as of a little while ago, we're now over 67,000 active users on Kumbaya in somewhere over 7,000 different communities on every imaginable topic. We're seeing about a 9-minute time on site for our active users, and we define active as those folks who have returned at least 3 times. There are 600 or 700 products that are available at any given time across the communities for sale, and people are listing and buying things every day.
Great. And now you just landed a deal with Warner Brothers, so they're going to be using your site to create communities. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. About 6 months ago, Warner Brothers approached us to be a part of their corporate accelerator called Media Camp. And we went through a series of interviews, and they selected us to join. Media Camp is a program at Warner Brothers for media-focused startups that they believe have the most potential. And we were really thrilled to participate in the accelerator along with 4 other companies. One of the results of the accelerator is that Warner Brothers made an investment in Kumbaya, and they also decided to put 5 TV shows and films onto the platform. And we're actually in talks for a number of other ones, both with Warner Brothers and with all the major studios. So with Warner Brothers, they have communities for 42, the movie on Jackie Robinson, The Great Gatsby, Vampire Diaries, and a bunch of others. So we're really excited about Warner Brothers and that relationship and the kind of growth that it's going to bring to Kumbaya. It's the thing that's going to get us from 67,000 users into the millions of users.
Very cool. And what does your revenue model look like?
Well, right now we're making money from a transaction fee, a percentage of the price of the product that's sold. We also make money in an affiliate model, but that's really a very tiny portion of the revenue that we generate. So we make money when people sell things on the site, and we also have a model for advertising, but we've been sort of cautious about deploying an advertising model. We're certainly going to, because the revenue growth for advertising, especially with a large number of users, is really quite compelling. But we wanted the site to be about your interests, and sometimes your interests include buying and selling things to other people who are interested in the same things you are. So right now the revenue model is focused on a transaction fee based on the price of the product that's being sold, and in the not too distant future there'll be a variety of advertising models where you can target people who you know to be actively interested in a particular topic.
Great. And so users can sign up and create communities free of charge.
Yes, anybody can create a community. We have people like the Huffington Post with a community for their politics blog. We have celebrities and bands and not-for-profits. NBC Universal has a community for their style network. So we're seeing, like I said, there are more than 7,000 different communities. Some of them are on funny cats, and some of them are for celebrities that you see on TV.
And Josh, tell us one thing that you can really attribute to your success.
Well, the fact of the matter is that there's been no one thing. There's been no silver bullet that got us to this point. I think that a lot of times when people look at startups, they only see the big events. They see, well, Kumbuya made it into Warner Brothers Media Camp, and that's how they got to 1 million users. But the fact of the matter is that we test and we try different things every single day for attracting users to our site, and we measure everything, and it's really a marathon. It isn't a sprint. So we look at every metric you can imagine to refine our approach, but there is really no one thing. Getting into Warner Brothers Media Camp was the culmination of 100 different initiatives. Many failed completely. Some of them were moderately successful, and then a few of them brought a whole bunch of users and allowed us to really refine the site. So I really can't attribute it to any one thing besides hard work and taking the appropriate risks and testing everything. And building these things really is more about a marathon than a sprint. We don't try to hit grand slam home runs. We try to hit a series of doubles every single day.
Cool. And Josh, I have one last question for you. What are your plans for Kumbuya? What is your ultimate vision?
Well, my ultimate vision is having a place where you can engage with people who share your interests on every conceivable topic. So it's not about your friends. It's not about finding a job like it is on LinkedIn or communicating with people who are your career peers. It's really about the things that you love to do, the things that you're passionate about. And that might be films, it might be TV shows, it might be news, it might be funny cats. Whatever you're interested in, Kumbuya is a place where you can articulate those passions. So with the Warner Brothers relationships and with the relationships that we're developing with other studios, certainly over the next 6 months you're going to see more and more films and TV shows and actors that you love on Kumbuya. But people have a wide range of interests, and Kumbuya will be a place where they can come and share and contribute and learn and be entertained about all of them.
Are there any specific markets that you plan on penetrating besides film and TV?
Well, the blog market obviously is a very big one for us, and our work with the printed blog is beginning to translate well into bloggers coming on board with Kumbuya. We have a network ranging close to 10,000 different bloggers in the printed blog network. So bloggers is a big target for us. Also, as school is now back in session, we have a major initiative across 20 or so different colleges across the country to bring college students, college organizations, Greek organizations onto Kumbuya. So that's a very big emphasis for us. So besides those three, bloggers, universities and college students, and large content creators like the studios and the multi-channel networks like Machinima and Maker and Fullscreen, those are our major initiatives for the next 6 months. And we really try to learn where our users want us to go. Every so often we'll identify pockets of communities, pockets of people who are interested in similar things, signing up and creating vibrant communities, and we evaluate those every single day. And where we see an area that's sort of developing on its own, we'll look for ways to encourage that.
Great. Well, Josh, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
And if you're interested in learning more about Kumbuya and connecting with Josh, go to fundology.com.